initially, like, my first time hosting this kind of formatted class was at Anime Gala. Now I asked William the same thing I'm gonna ask y'all, and there's no real wrong answer to this. It's a perspective answer, perception. What do y'all define as yoga? Real quick. Like, what is yoga to you?
Yoga's finding your inner zen. You know, kind of just like releasing that anxiety from life, that tension built up over the days. That's yoga for me.
Cool. Anyone else?
For me, it's the physical stretching and sometimes moving forward and balancing and pushing yourself, kind of, and figuring out just how far you can balance, what you can do, what you could move forward with. But
great answer. I like how you say it for me. You know what I mean? Because it's perspectively different for everyone else. Anyone else? Anyone else?
It just helps me be more mindful with breathing.
Dope.
Yeah. I need to slow down. I'm always so fast. I need to slow down. So
Whoa! You're moving at the speed of light. Chill.
I know. See?
Chill.
Yeah.
And the only reason I reference that,
Yeah.
hey, what's good? This is yoga.
Hi.
Alright, so the reason I reference the speed of light, right now, you know, we're made of atoms. What's the difference between our atoms and the share? You know what I mean? Our atoms are just animated. Bam. That's the difference. Now, the other difference, we have a will and intention. This chair has a will. What's the chair's will? To be sturdy. What will make the chair unsturdy? You know what I mean? Too much weight, too much pressure. What happens to the body when it has too much weight or too much pressure? It becomes unsturdy, unstable. It has to be used to that. You right? I said you're right, Rena. You know, you get me. It's understanding that stability within yourself and the external stability outside of yourself. You know what I mean? You're adapting to scenarios. Hey people who walked in. So my initial question to all my people in the front. Y'all 6 people too. Y'all 2 people over there. Mr. Steven, right? William, I'm so sorry, Mr. William. That's my fault. Mr. William, what do y'all define as yoga? Sir, right here, what's your name?
Riley.
Riley said it was finding his inner zen. Ma'am, what's your name?
Mariana.
Mariana said it was for her stretching in that component. Ma'am?
To slow down.
To slow down. What was your name?
Kimmy.
Kimmy?
Yeah.
Alright, so all those are great answers. I just want to hear from your perspective, what do y'all feel that yoga is to you?
A mental and physical discipline.
Great.
Something that helps my body not feel terrible.
That's a wonderful thing. You know, you have to be aware of your matter. Mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. Anyone else? Alright, so I'm going to ask this. Have any of y'all ever done a pranayama practice before? You have? Can you tell me what pranayama, can you tell everyone what pranayama is?
Think breath control, like timed breaths. 4 in, 4 out, square breathing, things like that. Or even switching nostrils of that nature.
Exactly. He's bringing up cool things that we could be doing today. Boom. So pranayama, chi, electromagnetic energy, all the same thing. You get me on that? Because those are just different states of energy that we occur with in our body. So understanding how your breath works helps you understand how your energy can digest itself. And the reason I say digest is because we're inhaling air. That air is going into our lungs, you know, then getting processed through our lungs into our bloodstream. And that gets processed into our bloodstream, and then goes into our muscles, so our muscles can do different functions. Either activate muscles better or help relax muscles. So real quick, can I get everybody to stand up? We're about to breathe. We're about to go through the breath. How many of y'all were ever in a band or choir? What instrument?
I was in choir.
Well, so you know how to breathe. Alright, what instrument?
Choir.
A choir? Bassoon? So that's a woodwind instrument, right? You know how to breathe?
Choir.
Alright, so choir people, where do they tell you to breathe from?
Diaphragm.
But where's your diaphragm located? What's right below your diaphragm? The stomach. So we're gonna breathe into our stomach, which when you breathe into your stomach, what happens with your diaphragm, Mr. Riley?
Stretching that goods out.
Exactly. And then whenever you exhale from the stomach, what's gonna happen to the diaphragm?
Shrinks.
Alright, so everybody place your hand on your navel. You're good, sir, you're good. And when you place your hand on your navel, clear your lungs out real quick. Clear your lungs out real quick. Emptying your breath. You should feel your navel go in towards your spine. So take a deep breath in. Hold. Slowly release. How nice did that feel for you? You get me? That's your first reminder of your breath. Hey people walking in. How you doing, man? So, one more time. Place your hand on your stomach, center your lungs, feeling the navel go back, contracting back towards the spine. Take a deep breath in. Hold. Slowly release. This is one part of a 3-part breathing system. You get me on that? We're going to do 4 breaths at the belly, then we're going to move up to the next portion. So we've already done 2 breaths. We're going to do 2 more breaths. Remember, this is at your pace, not my pace. So clear your lungs. Deep breath in. Slowly release. Deep breath in. Slowly release. The next part of your breath will be going up to your rib cage. Give yourself a gentle hug. So, placing your hands around your rib cage whenever you breathe, you'll feel your lungs expand out like an accordion around your rib, or which ribs around it. When they expand out and contract in. So take a deep breath in real quick. Slowly release. Deep breath in. Slowly release. For y'all who are just walking in, we're going through some breath right now. Y'all can just scatter in. I'll run it back to the beginning real quick. But right now we're holding our rib cage and taking some deep breaths in. If you have never breathed down into your stomach, bring your awareness into your stomach with every breath so you can feel the contraction of your belly with the breath, if that makes sense. Because whenever you're breathing, it's a full body function, not just a upper rib or upper chest function. So we're at the rib cage. You take a deep breath in. Just feel your lungs expand out around your ribs expand out around your lungs. Slowly release. One more time, deep breath in. Hold. Slowly release. Take your hands to your upper chest. So, going to the beginning real quick. You have 40% of your air down here in your belly. Even though the air doesn't go to your belly, the diaphragm does what?
Diaphragm stretches and shrinks.
Yes. So whenever you take that breath in, your diaphragm is expanding, helping the air go down. So it's moving pressure through your body. In your upper chest, you only get about 20% of your breath. I know I have like 25. Is it 20 for y'all? I'm inverted. No? 20. It's 20. Yeah. All right, thank you. You got 20% of your breath in your upper chest. A recall for that, they say if you go running or working out very vigorously, you're breathing up here. But what happens when you slow your breath down, you get more oxygen into your body. We're focused on the oxygen intake because the oxygen is going to control your daily practice of life. You get me? So at the upper chest, take a deep breath in. You feel your clavicle rise just a little bit. Slowly release. You feel it drop down. Do 3 more breaths at your pace. Last breath, hold for a moment. Slowly release. Alright. So, could someone register me? What does holding your breath do for the oxygen in your body? What does holding your breath do for the oxygen in your body? Does anyone know? No. Take a guess.
Just helps it absorb, like sitting there resting it.
Say it one more time.
Lets it absorb fully.
Lets it absorb?
Yeah, fully.
Alright, that's the perfect answer. So what you're doing whenever you hold your breath for a moment, or for 2 moments, 3 moments, you're letting the oxygen get processed into your bloodstream. You get me on that? By letting it process into your bloodstream, you're letting more oxygen into your blood per capita. You get me on that? So we have 1 liter of blood and 2 liters of oxygen. We're approximately getting 2 oxygen per molecule of blood. So it's 2 per 2. You get me on that? I mean 2 per 1. You're getting more oxygen into your blood. This doesn't mean you take a deep breath and hold your breath for like a minute. You get me on that? That doesn't mean that. It means take a deep breath, hold, slowly release. Take a deep breath, hold, a little bit longer, slowly release. Because within that, you're now controlling how your body's processing the oxygen. Now, before I was running and I had stopped, and my body is panting, what would you think my body is doing with the oxygen? It's the reverse process. If it's not getting more oxygen to the blood, it's doing something else. What would that be? The reverse of that process. Not exactly.
It's not absorbing it as it should.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of it. So it's over-oxygenizing the blood. You get me? When I say over-oxygenizing, that means you're getting more oxygen to the blood, but at a less efficient pace. And when I say a lesser efficient pace, you're getting more oxygen to the blood. So the blood's getting hit with oxygen really fast. It's just not absorbing as much as that normally would. You get me on that? All right. Sir, you brought up sir, what's your name?
Edon.
Yeah, him in the red shirt. Red shirt. Yes.
Edon.
Edon?
Yeah.
He brought up a great practice. It's called nostril breathing. What I would want y'all to do is hold your hand up. Right hand, left hand, doesn't matter. You're going to take your middle finger, place it onto your bridge of your nose. With your thumb, you're going to close your right nostril. Now, hold up real quick. Some of y'all may have snot in your nose, so be aware. Do not get snot on the person next to you.
No, it's not rocket.
I know it's not rocket science. It's just like, just be aware. All right, so you're going to close the right nostril. Clear out your left nostril by pushing the air out. Take a deep breath in through that left nostril. Close the left nostril with the ring finger, opening the right nostril from the right thumb. Release through the right nostril. Take a deep breath in through that right nostril. Switch, closing the right nostril, opening the left, and release. Take a deep breath in. Switching nostrils, closing left, opening right, slowly release. Deep breath in through the right nostril. Slowly release through the left nostril. One more breath in through the left nostril. Release to the right. That's a split breathing technique. Now, what that is doing, can I get a volunteer up here real quick? Anyone? Brave soul? Alright, boom. Oh, I got 2 volunteers. It's straight. Alright, so y'all understand the idea of yin and yang, right? Y'all, yes, no? Yin and yang. Alright, so I'm going to ask, with yin and yang, what do y'all know of it? Like the properties?
Positive and negative.
That's one.
Light, dark.
That's another one. There's another one that's gender biased.
Male and female.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so both y'all turn around. One person right here. Third person right here. So within the breath practice, we're not actually breathing into our stomach. We're breathing down into the muscles back there. So through your back, whenever you do this split breathing, you have this cool thing called kundalini. Y'all know what kundalini is? No? Have you ever seen the medical symbol where it has the 2 snakes crossing? Alright, that right there is the perfect example of the kundalini because it's at the bridge of my chest, my spine, and it's the breath pathway is going across. You get me? Those 2 snakes represent that. Kundalini does deal with the snake also, but it deals with the idea of how the energy is flowing. So whenever you breathe through your nose, each individual nostril, one nostril goes down this way into your lower back. The other one goes up the opposite way. You get me on that? One nostril is going down. The other one is going up. So whenever you breathe through one, you're sending it down that channel. And then when you release through the other one, you're sending it back up that channel. Or the opposite channel. And then when you breathe through the opposite nostril, you're going down that channel that one is directed to and up the next one. Y'all follow me on that?
Yep.
Alright, so within that breath practice, you're waking up both lobes of the brain. You get me on that? Because your brain gets oxygen from where? Come on. The nose, yeah, exactly, the lung. But whenever you're breathing through one nostril, you can be aware of what's actually contracting. You get me? Because each nostril is split. Your body is split in the quarters in reality. The quarters being your shoulders and your hips. You follow me on that? And then in between there is your core. Y'all are great. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I need y'all for that quick thing. Because the idea of the Kundalini goes from the lower back up. But the breath goes from the nose down into the lower back. It's not fully registering into the lower back, but it's going there. So what I want y'all to do real quick is take your hands and interlock your fingers. Place them around your abdomen at your diaphragm. You know, bring your elbows back a little bit. I'm pretty sure y'all will be in the choir. Y'all done this before. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So clear your lungs out. Get a tight grip around your abdomen, pressing into your diaphragm. Take a deep breath in. Now, squeeze a little bit tighter as you release your breath.
You do it to hit those high notes.
Say that one time.
You do it to hit those high notes.
Yeah, you use it to hit those high notes, but what it's doing is pressing more air through your lungs. You get me? You're pressing more air through the pressure system, which is your lungs and your diaphragm together. Because you're using your lungs and your diaphragm daily, you have to be aware of how it's functioning. This goes with the mindfulness. The mindfulness of your breath helps you control your reality. Because think like this. Let's say if I do something that irritates you or makes you mad, what's the first thing you're going to do breathing-wise? Say that one time.
Let it go. Deep breath.
You're going to take a deep breath? Most people are going to shorten their breath. You get me on that? Because they've now shortened their breath, what happens? Their body is going to get naturally more irritated. You get me on that? Because they're not getting enough oxygen to process what's going on around them fully. By you being aware of how your breath practice is working, that's helping you understand how to process information around you. So for y'all who just walked in and everything, this is my main initial question. I had some dope answers in the beginning. What is yoga to you? How would you define yoga? Any of y'all in the back, group that walked in, how would y'all define yoga real quick?
It's the thing that my grandmother does, that every time I do it, I feel really great, but I never picked it up actually.
Now, is it because you're doing the physical practice or you're doing the breath and meditation practice also?
A little of both.
A little of both? Alright, so you feel great after doing it, but how do you feel about what's around you after you're doing it? You know what I mean? Do you feel like you're more in tune with what's going on around you as well as inside of you together? Because what's that one cool thing we're made of? What? Yeah. Yeah, what's the one cool thing the whole world and the universe is made of? But what's the weird thing about atoms?
They can't break them.
Say that again? The weird thing about atoms is they're just there. You know what I mean? They're literally just there. So in the idea of all of us, we are just some positions of these atoms differently, but the same ideal atoms. You know what I mean? Just our composition is different. Even with these chairs that all look identical, they're still different. You know what I mean? There's small differences in there. And that's the same thing within us. So with our breath, we're controlling how our individual being can react and interact. You get me on that? What's that thing called when two atoms collide and they bounce away? Huh? No, momentum. So by you controlling your breath, you're controlling not only the momentum in your body, but the momentum of how your forces reacting to other forces. You get me on that? I break it down like this because I'm a science major personally.
Yeah.
So I like to look at it from the scientific point of view, which yoga is a science of religion in a sense, but it's a science of how people practice their religion. I'm not a very religious type person, I'm more spiritual. So you're being aware of how your body is interacting with the space you're in and the space you're around. So we have all these cool people here in cosplay, you know what I mean? Why don't y'all dress in cosplay on a normal day basis?
How do you know I don't sometimes?
You get me? Yo, I'm wearing this cosplay, I'm wearing my school hoodie and all this kind of stuff. It's just clothing, right? It's attire. And then when people see you walking down the streets, their look is their look in their head, you know what I mean? If they haven't discussed it, look, that's because they are not able to accept themselves to be that dope to wear something that they admire. But hold up, who are the biggest cosplayers in the world? Huh? Say again? Buff dudes? Say again? Nah, I'm about to beat y'all. The biggest cosplayers in the world are athletes and people who like sports. You wanna know why? Because they're always wearing their jersey of their favorite sports player. You know what I mean?
Sports ball.
You get me on that? They're like legit. They are the biggest cosplayers in the world. So if you call them a cosplayer, they won't believe it. But they're doing more cosplay than what we do on a normal day basis. And the idea of it is just they're choosing to wear that to represent it. You know, you're wearing this costume to represent who you would like to be perception-wise. You get me on that? Your will and intention. So within that, I want y'all to think real quick. What is your individual will? Which is like, you know, what keeps you moving every day? And then what's your influence with it? You know what I mean? Like, with your influence, you carry your will a certain way. How do you influence others with your will, and what is your will? Y'all can take a seat. I know how y'all standing. Y'all can take a seat with that. But just also take note to your breath. Where's your breath changing as you sit down? So we're going to do like, I'm going to grab a chair. Let's take like 12 breaths. And whenever we were going from the belly on up, that was roughly 12 breaths. So, you know, you can place your hand on your belly to your lungs. Just at your pace. I'll tell you when I finish, but if you still have breaths to do, go ahead. To your lungs. Take a deep breath in. Bring your awareness to yourself, identifying what is your will and what is your influence. Slowly release. At your pace, at your belly, 3 more breaths. Those who would like to, bring your hand into your rib cage. Bring your awareness into your rib cage as you take your breath. You're doing 4 breaths at your ribs. Keep it note, your belly is still moving with each breath. Clavicle. 4 breaths at your clavicle, at your pace. Body relax, get into your breath. When you do 6 more breaths, just to enjoy how nice it feels. breath whenever you're ready. Come to standing real quick. Soft bend your knees like you're doing the plie. Roll through your shoulders, shake through your body real quick, just to wake up the body. Bring your awareness back into yourself. Now, here's the fun part of all this. Let's talk about chakras. What do y'all know about chakras? Or what do you perceive about chakras? You went Naruto, it's really cool. But what do y'all perceive about chakras? You know what your first chakra is?
Here.
No, that's not the first. That's not the first. Yeah, yes, sir.
Root chakra.
Root.
Root chakra.
Root chakra. That's number one. Y'all know what color associates with the root chakra? No. The color red. Survival. Root. Now, the root chakra is innately a part of the reptilian brain. Have you ever heard that term before? Reptilian brain. You've heard that term before? Where have you heard that term before?
I've heard it in memes, but I also know that it's like the thing that your brain automatically goes to because of like evolution.
Yes. So in psychology, whenever they bring up the chakras, because in like actual scientific psychology, they look at the chakra system, but they look at it in a different way. They look at the first three chakras as a reptilian brain. So the first one being your root for survival, color associated with it is red. The next one after that being the sacral. Y'all know what the sacral chakra represents? Anyone? No? Two things. Sexuality and creativity. Those are the two things it associates with. And the idea of creativity is how are you as a creative being? You know, because we're all made of the same stuff, just arranged differently. And then sexuality, gender preferences, things like that. But don't hold it too much to the sexuality part, as just a part of the things that's associated with it. The third chakra being the ego. Now we're going a little bit lighter in colors now. So when you get to the sacral chakra, it gets kind of orangish. You get me? Then when you get to the ego, it gets yellow or a high orange. What does the ego represent?
Your thoughts of yourself.
Yes, that's part of it, a big part of it. Anyone else? Like, what do y'all define as ego?
How you perceive yourself above or below others.
Say one more time.
How you perceive yourself above or below others.
That's one. And then, anyone else on the idea of ego? My little beat tape stopped. Sorry about that.
Ideologies.
That's one. Yes.
Perception of yourself that prevents you from connecting with everything and just realizing we're all one, just channeling consciousness.
Yeah, that's a great definition. So like, the ego is just your physical manifestation of you. You know what I mean? Like how you felt when you woke up, that shower you took, clothes you put on, all that stuff. That's just your ego. We're in a rejected reality. Do I have any artists in here? You draw? Paint? You draw paint too? So whenever you're drawing, what do they say that the color we're seeing is? Whenever you're drawing or using paint, what do they say that the color that's projected back at you is?
Is your personality or
No, I'm saying when you're using physical colors.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what do they say that color that you're looking at is on the artistic point of view?
Like
They-
how you're feeling.
No. They say it's the perception of every other color besides that color being absorbed and that one color being rejected out. You get me on that?
Yeah.
The color that we're physically seeing is the absorption of every other color besides the one color that is being projected out. And the reason I use the term rejected reality is because I got this from chilling with my artist homies. Everything we put on us garment-wise is a rejected reality. You get me on that? Because we're rejecting ourselves to the point of like, hey, I want to hide in these robes. You know what I mean? If the idea of ego didn't manifest itself to a certain level, we could be just like animals who are just free range. You know what I mean? But the idea of ego manifested itself to being like, hey, your shirt, I like it. What do I need to do to get it? You know what I mean? Which isn't a bad iteration of ego, but then a bad iteration of ego would be like, hey, I see you wearing sandals. I don't like sandals. You know what I mean? That's a bad iteration of ego. And not saying it preference-wise, it's about how it's used. Because we're wearing robes that we reject off of reality. You know what I mean? And they all represent a feeling, mood, things like that because of the color associated with it. So again, your ego is a yellowish color. Going up to the next chakra, fourth chakra. Anyone know the name of that one? No.
The heart?
The heart? Yeah. So the beautiful thing about it, once you get out of the reptilian brain, which is your survival instincts, you go straight into love. You get me on that? Which love is the color of green. After you get out of green, you go up to, I think it's like, I don't want to say purple, but I want to say blue. Blue. It's blue, which represents communication. Because what's the beautiful thing about when you love something? You know what I mean? You know how to communicate about it or communicate some way through it. You get me on that? After your throat chakra, you're at your intuition, your third eye, that metaphysical thing that you can talk about. You know what I mean? But define this to yourself. What is your third eye? You know what I mean?
Here.
Like, define it for yourself what your third eye is. So that goes exactly with your will and your influence. You know what I mean? Because your will is seeing the things that your third eye wants you to represent. Your influence is pushing that through your conversation or through your body language, through how you communicate, whatever you're communicating across. And after that, you have your higher connection. People call it Christ consciousness, things like that, which is the last chakra. Going through the colors real quick, you're going from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, and then like a whitish color, or lighter blue. And those are your 7 chakras. The guy who brought up Naruto. So just so you know, there's a lot of references to yoga inside of Naruto with character and name. 2 of the biggest references are Ashura and Indira. And those are 2 deities within the practice of yoga. You get me on that? But those deities come from specifically the Hindi religion. So when you look at yoga, it does root back to the idea of the Hindi religion, Sanskrit culture, and everything like that. But it's also found in different martial arts, different practices of self-being and mindfulness, even in music. You get me on that? My bigger connection for it was finding it in music and harmonies of frequencies. Because you have 7 octaves besides the root note. 7 keys besides the root note in the octave. You get me on that? So you have your root note. Let's say your root note is a C, or let's make it easy. Let's say your root note is a note and a flat A note, which is 440 hertz. You get me on that? So that specific frequency, which goes with a specific period of time of us hearing it, correlates with the A note. That A note being C, D, E, F, G, A, could be in response to your intuition. You get me on that? Your 6th chakra. Because after I go from C, going back to B, and I go to the next root note, which would be a C again. You get me on that? Which is starting the next octaves. So you have these 7 keys. You have 7 days of the week. You have these number parallelisms. You get me? That humans were like, yo, we want to construct things to make sense. So we did it. You get me? We went from having 12 months with 360 days in a calendar year to 5 more days. But where did those 5 more days actually physicalize from? Movement. The understanding of how movement patterns work. And what's the other part that music correlates with? I said it. I give you cheat code. Movement. You get me? When I say movement, it even goes with the body moving for pressure to generate different octaves of the voice, the body moving to make sounds, the body moving for art. You know what I mean? It all correlates back to movement. The movement practice that people need to, in my opinion, master is the movement of their breath. Because once you understand the movement of your breath, then you understand the movement of your body in physical reality. I don't want to go into medical physical reality because that's a perception thing. And to me, literally lucid dreaming and having a dream are the same thing. Because once you are aware you're in a dream, you should be aware of how you can manifest your dream. Because that's nothing but absorbed light. You get me on that? our eyes have this little hole right next to our retinas and everything, or with our retinas, and it has cones behind it, and those cones are constantly absorbing light. So if that thing is absorbing light into it, whenever we close our eyes and sleep, and our pineal gland triggers, and light goes from our occipital region of our brain back out, being processed through the same thing was processed to get to the occipital region. You get me on that? The front of the eyes, the pineal gland, the occipital region. When it's coming back through the pineal gland, what is this doing? It's reprocessing all that information so it can shoot out, hit the eyelids, and bounce right back. You get me on that? Now take a moment to think about the idea of human, light man, light woman, because you're nothing but manifested light in a physical reality, but you're liquid light. You get me on that? You get the understanding of being liquid light? Like the chair is solid light. This is, gaseous light because it's light going through space, and we're liquid light. Why would I say liquid light?
Because we're animate, we're moving.
No, yeah, that's part of it. But what are you made of? Exactly. So if you freeze a person, then they become solid. But otherwise, we're squishy and we're liquid. So we are a living liquid energy state. You know what I mean? We have solid energy in us. We have all these different factors of energy. But it's about us being aware of how is it being used. So I see a whole bunch of people who are radioactive right now. And I'm not talking about music active. But do you understand when I say you're radioactive?
Yes.
Well, what does that mean?
There's little bits of radioactivity in us that make our energy.
Yeah. And then even when your body illuminates, you get me? And when your body illuminates, that's another side of the radioactiveness. So understanding how you glow, what makes you glow, what makes you dim. You know what I mean? Those are things that are affecting your emotional energy state, as well as your physical energy state. When it affecting your emotional energy state, it correlates to your physical energy state, because then you're able to see from the outside point of view, how do I look? How do I feel based on how I look? How is it factoring into my action on the day-to-day activity? You know what I mean? So like, we're all these different compositions of energy, but the main one that you can generate yourself and understand full control of is your mechanical energy. But your mechanical energy comes from everywhere. You know what I mean? We step into the sunlight, light hits us, we become radioactive. As soon as light hits our skin, it becomes heat, or it gets transferred through heat, which is a mechanical process, because we're getting hit by photons, which are generating friction, warming up our skin, and that's going deeper into our body. And our body is either absorbing it to release or absorbing it to maintain. Now, I'm one of those cool people, and I have a homie here, he's one of those cool people. We absorb light to maintain. You know what I mean? And that's because of melanin. That's a radioactive trigger. But then there's other things. Like they say when we eat potassium from bananas, that potassium goes through a radioactive change in our body because it's changing isotopically. You get me on that? I know I'm getting to really, really small stuff at this point, but those small things factor into how are we feeling throughout our day. Because if you eat something bad and you are feeling bad, it's going to generate bad energy in your body, and then your body may have a bad visual response to that. Carcinogens, things like that. So bring yourself to the full awareness of what your energy intake is, as well as what your energy output is. You can get me on that? Your breath practice is the energy intake and output. Where are you practicing your breath at? How are you practicing your breath? Are you in a Zen state for yourself? I'm in a Zen state for myself all the time, no matter where I go at. People's energy can't affect my energy unless I let them in to affect my energy. And the only people I let in to affect my energy are people who I see are on the same frequency pattern as me. You get me on that? That's me understanding my knowledge of self. Because then from there, my knowledge of self is going to supply whatever form of wealth I attain in this reality. Be that physical, or just spiritual, or just energetic wealth. You know what I mean? So by you understanding your breath practice, your mechanical energy generation, then you better understand how your body responds to other energies around you. We go into the gyms and all those other different spiritual energy totems that are around. But again, those are totems, you know what I mean? You create something as an artist. You've created that in reality. You get me on that? You've made that physical reality. Minotaur, Centaur, what popped into your head? A creature. That's not realistic, but it's real. You get me on that? We know this creature from mythology, old religion, or a study of old religion, mythology, but the creature itself is not real. It's realistic because people use it in different stories, in different lore. So bring yourself to awareness of where you're seeing these parallelisms at, not just with your chakras, but even with sounds, things like that. And your reality helps you understand and define your reality. Because it's your perception of reality that you're sharing with me. As we talk about our cool anime stuff out there, you know what I mean? That helps us connect. I got into big debates with people from Kamikaluza over metachlorians from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Metachlorians. Because I was like, yo, those are just mitochondria. Yeah, you laugh. Yeah, you get me. Those are just mitochondria. Because it's just like giving me some type of energy in the body to be able to do something, right? It's helping me generate another form of energetic force. Anaerobic or aerobic leap. Remember, when you breathe, you generate more energy. Remember, when you breathe, you generate more energy. When you breathe in places where you're enjoying yourself, you're generating more energy. Because not only are you absorbing the energy that's around you, you're adding to that energy, raising the frequency. You can raise the frequency of lower energy around you, but what's that going to do to you? Drain you out. You don't want to be drained. You want to be someone where your energy can always rise and uplift. So again, real quick, check in with your breath. Slow to release. I hope I gave y'all some cool reminders. I hope you use these reminders to remind yourself in your daily activity of your practice. I can break down a sun salutation for you, but that's a physical practice. You get me? That may not be the practice you need. But everyone needs the breath practice, you know what I mean? Because the breath practice is going to be throughout your everyday activity when you're at work, when you're at home, when you're asleep. Unless y'all have sleep apnea now, I'm sorry. Hopefully y'all don't have sleep apnea. No one has sleep apnea in here, right? Clear conscience, I'm good. Alright, but hey, thank y'all very much for chilling and breathing with me. Remember, the most important practice in this practice of yoga is truly your breath. Because at the beginning of the day, they teach you breath to go through your movements. And at the end of the day, when you can't do all those movements, when you're older, you can always do your breath. You get me on that? The middle part of it is just where you maintain yourself. So age-wise, from like 7 to 20 or 7 to 25, you're learning flexibility, you're learning movement practices, you're learning all these cool, constructive things to live with life. From 25 to like 50 or 55, you're then maintaining those practices. Not saying you're not getting better at the practices, but you're just maintaining them. You get me on that? And then once you're 50, 55, after that, you don't even have to do the physical practice anymore because your body's already went through 20 years of maintenance to uphold that. It's how you get a super strong old man for no reason. Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, old men who just be like super, they're not even jacked, they're just super strong because their body knows how to generate the electrical force needed to do an action, to perform a movement. So from that age of 50 on up, honestly, like, it's kind of sound grimace, it's your body preparing for death or for the next life, but you're being more in tune with how your breath has been working from those earlier 50 years. I hate to say it like that because it sounds so grimace, but that's the reality of it. Because even in Naruto, whenever Rock Lee or Guy Sensei opens up the 8th gate, that's death. And that's just because they're triggering their body to go into such a chaotic state. We can physically do that with our bodies, but we don't want to. We don't want to. It hurts. It hurts. Have you ever tried to push your body into overdrive before?
Yes.
Doing what?
Nope. A couple times I've stayed up for like 3 or 4 days at a time. I just had stuff to do. Didn't sleep. Just kept moving the whole time. And I crashed for 16 hours.
How'd you feel after you crashed for 16 hours?
Not too good.
Not too
Still
good?
not too good. Nope.
Are you on overdrive right now?
No.
Alright, cool. Just making sure.
I slept.
Good. Good. Amazing. Amazing. And if you don't sleep, you know what you can do? Breathe. Because whenever you're slowing down your breath, you're slowing down how your body's processing the oxygen to create more energy in your system. These are your systems. I'm just coming over with my controller and being like, hey, can I join and play with you? I'm a PlayStation person, Xbox. I don't have a Switch. I just heartbroke you right there a little bit. But hey, again, thank y'all for joining with me. If I can get more classes like this at conventions, I would love to, because I love to like introduce this to the younger cosplay community. You know what I mean? Because they're the ones that need it. We as older individuals, we already understand this stuff. We just want to share it with each other. But those youth that are coming up, we need to be able to give this to them to let them know, like, hey, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to be that super cool guy or girl in that outfit. But just know, people will react the way they will react. You know what I mean? That's just people. But we have to build up that confidence within individuals. Because you know, you build up someone else, it doesn't hurt you. It builds you up more. So you have to remind to yourself, what did that person have the ability to do? You know what I mean? And if that person has that ability to do it, what's stopping you? If you just inspire them to do it. Inspire is another word for take a breath in. Expire is another word for releasing your breath. If you didn't learn anything, at least you learned that. But hey, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all coming in. If you have any other questions, like I do go to other conventions in different cities. So like I just came from Henry Dallas at the top of this month. If IkkiCon accepts me, I'll do some movement there. But I need people to get aware of their breath and what they can do with their breath. And if you see someone, just be like, hey, take a deep breath for me. How nice that feel for you?
Feel good.
Does it hurt me? Does it hurt? I haven't done that to anyone at this convention, but I literally will go to conventions and be like, yo, take a deep breath real quick. They do it, and like, what's that for? You.